So following on from the last video, what I'm going to do now is show you how to use one of these basic shapes and the node tool to create a sort of squished shape that's we're going to use to actually create a shine on the 8 ball. So I'm going to get rid of these just by selecting and hitting delete on the keyboard. As you know, I could select over more than one object and delete them both at the same time, so that makes it a bit quicker. So we'll do that, and what I'm going to do, I'll zoom in on this a little bit, so I'll control and scroll wheel. And what I'm going to do to start with is start with just a basic sort of circular shape. Now if I use circles, make sure that it's set up to be proper circles, not one of these weird Pac-Man-y ones. And there you go. So I'm just going to make a basic sort of circular shape like that now, and I'll pop it pretty much on the 8 ball there, and that's going to come and look like our shine. At the moment doesn't look particularly shiny and doesn't do much at all. So what we need to do is actually alter this. So in order to do that, as you can see, if we go to the node tool, all we've got is the old Pac-Man thing, which is no good to us. So I'll go Control Z and undo that, or those ones. So we're going to go back, like we did in the last video, to the path menu and go Object to Path. Now immediately this gives us access to the nodes, and that's what we want. So when you get access to the nodes, note that when you click on the red one, you can then push that around. Okay, so I'm just going to flatten that area off. Notice that you've got these two pieces that hang out the sides from that, and they're the handles that control it. So we're going to get into these a lot later on. So just know the difference between that and the actual point. So the actual node itself is this one, and these are the handles that make up the node. But having access to them means that you can alter the sort of shape of this thing far more accurately. So there we go. Still doesn't look particularly like a shine. I'm just going to push that up a little bit, because what we have to do, and this is recap really, is we've got to go and turn that into a gradient. So to do that, I'll just go onto my normal tool and I'll click over here, and that's going to open up my panel. And by default we're on fill, and the fill is flat. We actually want to turn this into a gradient, a linear gradient this time. So I'm going to click that, and it just automatically goes to a linear gradient. Now that looks a bit odd because it's blue, and we can't see the angle of the gradient. So I'm going to go down to the gradient tool, I'll click that, and here's the angle of the gradient. So I want it to be sort of solid color up here, and then fade out down the bottom like that. But I also want it to be white. So I'll select that node there and go over to my color wheel. Now notice you could be on any one of these colors. Okay, I'm going to choose wheel. I prefer it that way. So then I'll click on this one, and that turns the bottom one to white. Back over to here, and I'm going to click on that one and turn that one to white as well. And there we go. If I click off that, it now sort of looks like a bit of a shine on that. Now if you want to alter that any more in terms of its shape, you can click on it and go to your node tool. So the node tool becomes very handy, and you can move these points around to fine-tune that to get the sort of look that you're after. Okay, and that's pretty much it. The nodes become very, very, very useful the more you get on with this program. This is just a basic intro so that you can see roughly how it looks. As you can see, it does look like a bit of a shine. We'll come back to that. We'll do some more with the nodes in the next video.